This is Hero Core. Hero Core is what I'd like to refer as a good game. It has good gameplay, a good soundtrack, it controls tightly, and is generally fun to play. But if that was all I was going to say in this review, then it would obviously be over in, well, less than a minute. So, why is Hero Core a good game? Well, it's a shooter. And I likes me my shooters. It's a Metroidvania game, and I likes me some Metroidvania games. And it's retro style as well, which, although the indie game market at the moment seems to be flooded with these kind of retro style graphics, retro games, in this case it works fantastically well. The two colours lend everything a kind of simplicity and economy of style. I'm starting to sound like a real pretentious prick when I say things like economy of style, but trust me, it does. By economy of style, I mean, well, just look at the sprite of the main character, Flip Hero. He's tiny. He's tiny, tiny, tiny. I think he's, what, maybe 8 by 8 pixels? But that 8 by 8 pixels is full of personality. And just like many of the creature designs in this game, they're all full of personality and quirks. So yeah, as I mentioned, this is a Metroidvania shooter, which in itself is kind of unusual. But yeah, it kind of reminds me of stuff like R-Type and Gradius. Some of the patterns that you'll be coming across in later levels are almost on bullet hell levels of craziness, but on the normal difficulty things are kind of manageable and not too bad. Challenging, but not too bad. On the higher difficulty levels things get really insane and frustrating. But yeah, as this is a Metroidvania game, it's not just about shooting, it's about exploring. And you have this massive Swiss cheese-like base which you're exploring, gradually working your way around, and you'll kill bosses, as you'll see here. I cut the footage halfway through this boss fight because I didn't want to completely reveal how you kill it, but I think it's fairly obvious if you've ever played a shooter how you kill most of the bosses. Shoot the glowing bits. And when you unlock things such as this sword here, you can get through blocks. My god, amazing. And look, you see what's going to happen here? Can you see? You see what I'm doing there? It's a hidden area. Amazing. Oh, by the way, I mentioned that this game has good music. Just check this out. Listen to this. I'm not sure if you could entirely hear that music over the incessant bleeping of Flip's laser there, but the music in this game is absolutely stunning, and again, done in retro style. So yeah, as you'll progress further and further through the game, you'll begin to open up more and more areas, and you'll start to kind of have to really think about and consider where you're going to go next. Here's some footage of me sort of moving around between these two rooms with no clue of where I'm supposed to go next and trying to figure it out. You'll never be in this situation for very long, and I quite like wandering around. You have the ability to warp between any save point you've already been to, which cuts down on the mindless backtracking, which is the hallmark of so many of these Metroidvania style of games. So yeah, remember when I was talking about bullet hell patterns? Yeah. The bosses in this game are really creatively designed. I do like a good boss design. I do like bosses that have, even though these bosses are all these kind of machines, they have personality in spades, and they're really interesting designs. So yeah, top marks for that. And also they're just really, really fun to fight. This one in particular is a bit of a pain in the arse, the amount of shit that's flying around right now. And if you fight him at a low level before you're really ready to, he can be a real challenge. So yeah, there's me dying horribly. So yeah, this game, which it's quite surprising that this kind of retro style shootery type of thing can have the atmosphere that it does, and it's a mix of the really atmospheric music which kicks in at certain points in the game, the graphical design, and also the story, although it's very, very simple, is surprisingly well done. So yeah, simple but effective all round, and that pretty much sums this game up. Although this bullet pattern you're seeing here is anything but simple. But the gameplay is very simple. You have fire left, fire right, and that's pretty much it. You can charge your shot up to deliver a sort of blade attack, which you unlock later, which can reflect bullets back. And later on you unlock a sort of smart bomb style ability, which you can sacrifice a little bit of health to send out a big spread of bullets. Really what makes this game special is, as I said, really, really tight controls, absolutely fantastic gameplay, great boss design, and all of those things combined with the simplistic, almost Game Boy-like or Atari-like retro-style graphics that you'll see here just serves to really remind you. It's one of those games that really takes you back to the core of what it is to experience a video game when you're completely in the moment. There's something really special about that feeling of connection with the controls when you're not even really thinking about what you're doing. You're just operating on pure instinct. And when you combine that with a story that actually gets surprisingly emotional and heartfelt at times, even though it is kind of simplistic, really makes for an absolutely compelling and addictive experience all round. And it's one that even after you've finished the main game, you'll want to go back and replay sections and redo the boss rush mode and try and get a high score, or just soak up everything the game has to offer in those other modes. So yeah, it's highly recommended. And probably the best thing about it is this game is free, which really is absolutely criminal when you think that the guy who made this game is giving it away for nothing. I mean, it's like Cave Story in that sort of sense, where this game could easily stand up to the pinnacle of 16-bit games. Really, absolutely fantastic gameplay, and it's being given away for free on the internet. So absolutely go out and download this game. It is well worth it. Though I do recommend you play with a controller, just saying. Cheers!